Have you ever bought a pair of shoes and not known your shoe size? Of course not. Today, we're not talking about shoes, we're talking about office buildings and what's the right fit for you. There's different types of office buildings out there. There's single tenant, there's multi-tenant, there's mixed use, there's high rise, there's low rise, there's all kinds of different types. So tune in right now and we're gonna talk about them. Let's go. So the first project that we're going to talk about is a multi-tenant office building. A multi-tenant office building, of course, means a building with more than one tenant in it. What are some of the advantages of being in a multi-tenant building? Multi-tenant office building primarily offers flexibility, it offers amenities, it offers a resource through other tenants, but there's multiple suites, and with that, there's often flexibility to be able to move around. So when you're considering a multi-tenant office building, there's a lot of different variables that come into play, but keep in mind that you're not necessarily controlling who your neighbor is. You're not necessarily being able to dictate what the future is on the space that you might be occupying a floor in, or what the landlord's going to do with the lobby of the building. So when you're thinking about multi-tenant office building, think about what the future holds for you. Another type of office building to think about is single tenant buildings. Single tenant buildings are the buildings that are occupied by one user, of course. With a single tenant building, you have security, you have identity, you have your own brand. A lot of people that are looking to move into this type of building know what their future holds. They might not have a lot of expansion plans, and these are the type of buildings that a lot of single tenant users like to own. There's a lot of advantages to owning a building. These are the perfect type of building where you're not a landlord, you can control your future. The downside is it doesn't allow for a lot of growth. So if you're looking at a single user type of building, maybe not a lot of flexibility with growth and reduction in space, but single tenant building has a lot of benefits to consider. So the next type of building that we're going to talk about is mid-rise and high-rise buildings. In a mid-rise and high-rise environment, you've got high image. Usually there's more amenities with these type of buildings because they have more space and they're accommodating more users. But a mid-rise, high-rise type of building are buildings that are usually for somebody who's looking for a corporate image, that's looking to go into a high-rise environment. Views might be important, security, amenities, these are all things to consider in a mid-rise, high-rise building. The next type of building that we're going to be talking about is low-rise. So the low-rise buildings, these are typically your suburban buildings. These are buildings that are usually 1 to 3 stories tall. And the advantages of these type of buildings are ease of access. These are types of buildings where you come in, easy to park. You're not parked in a structure somewhere typically or below ground. You park right near the building, and it's a low-rise building, so you're not going in for a long elevator ride. You're not lost in a big building and your clients are having trouble to find you. So low-rise buildings are a lot about convenience and ease of access. They just feel comfortable. They're relaxing. Low-rise buildings are the type of buildings that are very friendly and warm environment. So that's some of the advantages of low-rise buildings. Some of the disadvantages of low-rise buildings are image might not be as good as some of your high-rise buildings, fewer amenities than your high-rise buildings typically, less flexibility sometimes with a limited number of spaces. All in all, low-rise buildings are a great, easy, accessible building, which might be the right building for your company. So the next type of building that we're talking about is a mixed-use building. What is a mixed-use building? Mixed-use building consists of a lot of different uses. Could be on one site or it could be in one building. Mixed-use buildings consist of office, retail, hospitality, could be residential. As long as it has 2 or more of those components, it can be considered a mixed-use building. The advantages of mixed-use building is you've got a very diverse ecosystem, lots of different things happening. Usually these are very creative type of companies that are attracted to this because they want a lot of different variables that come into play, a lot of different touch points and access to different amenities for their employees and for their clients. So mixed-use buildings have a lot of great resources. One of the downsides of mixed-use buildings is that you have these different variables that can come into play, and they tend to be a little bit less corporate. So these are the different types of office buildings that are out there. Some of the amenities, some of the features, some of the pros and cons that they each have to offer. But if you're looking for office space and you have more questions, please reach out to me. Feel free to DM me, call me. Love to hear from you. I'd love to talk to you more about the different types of office buildings and which one's the right one for your business.